Of Spain for their statement, and I give the floor to the distinguished representative of Italy.
Thank you, Chair. Italy aligns itself with the statement delivered by the European Union. I would like to add some remarks in my national capacity. Chair, Italy remains fully committed to effective multilateral action against the proliferation of nuclear weapons, other weapons of mass destruction, and their means of delivery. Italy underscores the crucial role of the International Atomic Energy Agency in upholding the international non-proliferation architecture, enhancing nuclear safety and security, and promoting peaceful uses of nuclear technology to the benefit of all states parties. We support the universal adoption of key safeguards agreements, including comprehensive safeguards agreements, the IAEA Additional Protocol, and, where applicable, the revised Small Quantities Protocol. Italy promotes a reliable and responsible nuclear supply chain in accordance with the highest standards of nuclear non-proliferation. We are actively engaged in multilateral export control regimes that we consider key instruments to support the ability of states to transfer technology with confidence and safety and to prevent proliferation. Among them, Italy supports the efforts of the Nuclear Suppliers Group and the Zanga Committee. We also acknowledge the Hague Code of Conduct Against Ballistic Missile Proliferation as a widely supported multilateral instrument that aims at delegitimizing and preventing ballistic missile proliferation. We strongly support the universalization of the HCOC as a transparency and confidence-building measure to encourage responsible behavior in the development, testing, and deployment of ballistic missiles capable of delivering weapons of mass destruction. We reaffirm the unique role of the G7-led global partnership against the spread of weapons and materials of mass destruction. The global partnership is a driving force behind global efforts to prevent, detect, and respond to threats posed by the acquisition and use of weapons of mass destruction and related materials by both states and non-state actors. Italy remains deeply concerned by the risk of weapons of mass destruction falling into the hands of non-state actors, particularly in relation to terrorist acts. In this regard, we support the full and universal implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 1540 and its follow-on resolutions. We also underline the importance of the International Convention on the Suppression of Acts of Nuclear Terrorism and encourage all states to become party to this agreement. Italy highly values the importance of nuclear weapon-free zones for peace and security. We encourage all nuclear weapon states to sign and ratify the relevant protocols, providing security assurances to states members of such zones. We also reiterate our commitment towards the establishment of a zone free of nuclear weapons and all other weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East on the basis of arrangements freely arrived at by all states in the region. Chair, Italy would like to underline the important contribution NATO nuclear sharing arrangements have brought over the decades to the prevention of nuclear proliferation. These arrangements have removed incentives for states in a nuclear alliance to develop their own deterrence. In the 55 years since the NPT came into force, not one single country in the NATO alliance has gone nuclear. We can therefore, with confidence, state that these arrangements have contributed to one of the treaty's main goals. We would like to reassure states parties that NATO nuclear sharing arrangements are in full compliance with the letter and the spirit of the NPT, especially Articles 1 and 2. Under nuclear sharing, there is no transfer whatsoever either of possession of or control over those weapons. Italy does not possess or control nuclear weapons and therefore remains a non-nuclear weapon state. This is why we strongly reject the notion, which is totally unfounded from a legal point of view, of umbrella states, which seems to imply a third category of states parties to the treaty. Chair, we urge Iran to stop uranium enrichment activities that have no credible civilian justification and continue ongoing dialogue and provide assurances of the exclusively peaceful nature of its nuclear program in full cooperation with the IAEA. We also call on Iran to stop supporting Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. We are also seriously concerned about a possible resumption of nuclear testing by the DPRK. We urge the DPRK to refrain from further provocations and take concrete steps towards a complete, verifiable and irreversible denuclearization, to return to the NPT, to fully comply with the IAEA safeguards, to sign and ratify the CTBT. We condemn the DPRK's continued development of its ballistic missile program in defiance of multiple UN Security Council's resolutions and urge all UN member states to fully implement those resolutions. We also condemn the increasing military cooperation between the DPRK and Russia, including in the context of Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. I thank you, Chair.
I thank the